the end of Devin Haney. Now, before we get into his ending, let's talk about his start. Where did his career really start at? It started when he fought Leonarez. Now, when he fought Leonarez, he put up a good fight, but he did get rocked. But he got back from it, and he still won the fight. Great fight for Devin Haney. Now, who did he fight next? Diaz. Okay, now Diaz was actually pretty decent, was ranked pretty high in his weight class, and he still schooled him. Diaz was there to put a good fight, but Devin Haney just showed him that he was just on another level. Yeah, I know you guys are saying I'm sucking him off here, but I'm getting to the part where we're gonna get to his ending. Now then, after he fought Diaz, he fought Cambosis twice. The first one, he absolutely schooled him. Nobody could say that Cambosis put up a good fight on that one. Then he fought him a second time, and again he just dominated him. Now Camboza is not a bad fighter. We've seen that he beat Teofimo Lopez, but still, I think Devin Haney was just showing that he was just a better boxer, more skills, quicker. And then what happened? Well, this is present time where he fought Lomachenko, and now here he really got exposed in the later rounds. We see that he can't go in the later rounds. He just freezes. His defense just goes away. We seen after the ninth round, Lomachenko was just destroying him. He wasn't just throwing 2-punch combos. He was getting hit with 3-punch combos here and there. Devin Haney had no response to it. Now, Devin Haney has a great jab, absolutely great jab, very good counterpuncher. But is that really enough to be a great fighter, to beat SHAKUR? I don't think so. SHAKUR quick, great combos. Now Lomachenko is almost out of his prime now. He's getting old, but absolutely dominated. Nobody could tell me that they seen the Lomachenko versus Devin Haney fight and said Lomachenko didn't win. Absolutely robbery. And I'll tell you why they did it. Because Devin Haney is the younger fighter. He still has a future. Again, Lomachenko is getting old. There was actually rumors that he was supposed to be retiring, but he came back and he still gave Devin Haney a great fight. Now I'm not saying Devin Haney didn't put up a good fight as well, but it was just not enough to beat Lomachenko. Now let's look at his future. What does Devin Haney have for his future? Well, I think he doesn't beat the top 3 fighters out right now. Not even the top 4. I think even Isaac Cruz will give him problems just because of the pressure that he puts. Isaac Cruz isn't just a 1-2 punch fighter. He likes to throw a bunch of combos, and that's what we see Lomachenko catching Devin Haney with. And again, Isaac Cruz has a lot of power. Now we've seen Devin Haney get rocked by Leonarez. Just imagine Isaac Cruz hitting him with some combos and then matching it with his power. I don't think he has a good chance with Isaac Cruz, but even if he does, let's say he outboxes him. Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis will absolutely dominate Devin Haney. Absolutely. Quicker, more speed. He has way more power than Devin Haney. He's absolutely dominating Devin Haney. And even if we don't want to take it there, let's say he fights Teofimo Lopez. Because remember, Teofimo Lopez said that he's going to keep his belt to defend it against Devin Haney. And we've seen what Teofimo Lopez did against Taylor. Absolutely schooled them. So I just imagine if Teofimo Lopez doesn't retire and he comes back and he defends his title against Devin Haney, we could just imagine what Teofimo Lopez would do to Devin Haney. Absolutely dominate him. Now, let's say he gets across from Teofimo Lopez. Let's say he beats Teofimo Lopez. Well, SHAKUR wants that fight next. I think SHAKUR will outbox Devin Haney. Let's remember, Devin Haney doesn't have any power. SHAKUR does. SHAKUR is very dominating in his fights, puts a lot of pressure on. So again, in the later rounds, I don't think Devin Haney has a chance with SHAKUR.
A fighter that Devin Haney reminds me of is CANELO. And we recently made a video talking about CANELO and how he's lacking. And if he continues to do this, then he's going to end up losing that fight against Charlo. Let me tell you why. Devin Haney, I feel like he's getting too comfortable and too cocky with his name, Devin Haney. I think just because he's got good wins in the past, that he thinks, you know what, all I have to do is, keep my jab, keep my range, survive the rounds, and I'll end up winning the fight easy. But we just seen that with Lomachenko. He barely escaped Lomachenko by decision. Barely escaped him. You could tell in his face and his dad's face that they knew it was such a close fight, he could have lost that one. But he ended up winning, like my brother said. He's the younger fighter, so they wanted to give him the future. They wanted to give him the future opponents. But I'm saying, if he continues to be cocky, if he continues to try to play it safe, when he ends up fighting a fighter like Gervonta Davis or SHAKUR or Ryan Garcia, who now has a new trainer, and somebody who's out there willing to prove something, somebody who's out there to willing to put up a fight, then he's gonna realize that keeping his range and trying to find him with the jab and survive the rounds isn't gonna do it for him. If he almost lost to Lomachenko by trying to survive the rounds and realized that once Lomachenko stepped out of his range and stepped out to the side, outside of his jab, he realized and even told his father in the corner that, oh, he realized that I'm trying to throw my jab. He realized that he's stepping outside of my jab. And once he realized this, once he fights a fighter with power, a fighter with speed, he's going to realize that he can't just stand on the outside. He can't just keep his range. And that's when surviving the rounds is going to turn into, you know what, I need to step it up a notch. If I don't step it up a notch and I continue to try to survive the rounds, then I'm going to end up losing the rounds. So when it comes to fighting a fighter like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, or even a fighter who isn't as experienced or doesn't have as much power or speed, but as long as they're not playing the Devin Haney game of keeping the range, because he doesn't have any power, so he can't really hurt them. So all he has to do is keep his range and survive the rounds. And it could be any fighter with 20 fights, maybe 3 losses, and who knows, they might still put up a good fight with Devin Haney. Like I'm saying, Devin Haney's letting the money and he's letting his father talk. I think his father is the person who's putting him in trouble. I think his father is doing all the talk, trying to promote these fights, but he's not realizing that Devin Haney, his son, doesn't have the skills, the power, and the speed to go up against a fighter like Gervonta Davis. His dad wants to make all these fights happen. Oh yeah, he can fight SHAKUR. Ryan Garcia ain't no problem. Sign up the contract. But he's not realizing that his mouth is going to get his son in trouble, and his mouth is going to end up making them go broke. Once Devin Haney loses, then we're really going to have the evidence. You know what? We were right all along. Devin Haney isn't all that. His father was just a promoter. Devin Haney's trash. He has pillow hands. His speed is not enough to compete with these other fighters. And then once he loses, it's over for Devin Haney. We don't want to see Devin Haney no more once he loses. So that's basically all we're waiting for. So basically, the end of Devin Haney is near. If he fights SHAKUR, if he fights Gervonta Davis, if he fights any other fighter in that realm of speed and in that realm of competence, then he's going to lose. And that's basically all we're waiting for, is to see the end of Devin Haney.